What's going on? So I saw Jacquees calling himself the king of R&B, and I laughed. I said more like run and bloating. Um, auto tuning and manipulating sounds and your vocal tones. It's not making you no king. I saw him on Soul Train, and I couldn't tell if he was trying to be sexual or he had to go to the bathroom. More like the runs in business. That's more like it. Let's stop this foolery. R. Kelly is still the king of R&B, regardless of what anyone thinks about a person like whatnot. The track record, the resume, the hits, the stats, the overall body of work speaks for itself. He dominated the 90s and he pretty much owned the better, most part of the OOs. I mean, and he hasn't been met. Now, you can say that charismatic, good acts like Usher and Chris Brown were there. Yes, you can say that. D'Angelo had the potential to give R. Kelly a serious run and maybe even no take at one time. Very talented cat, just didn't happen. Same thing with Brian McKnight. Joe, bad dude. We're gonna go history. We're gonna throw Marvin Gaye, Luther Vandross. We're gonna put Barry White, Isaac Hayes, Al Green. And when you look at Ronald Isley's body work, Charlie Wilson, okay, Stevie Wonder, okay, Michael Jackson. Because let me tell you something. Always, his thing with pop. You go all the way up to off the wall, parts of Thriller. I mean, come on now. So his impact, but um, there are many people that you can throw. If you're gonna put that James Brown, Jackie Wilson, depending on what Otis Redding, Sam Cooke, depends on what era, what you're gonna go. But in the new era, you know, um, if you were gonna after R. Kelly, well, really there hasn't been anyone after R. Kelly, if I'm honest, because I mean, Usher's thing kind of had a moment. Some people throw Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown had a moment. Bobby Brown's influence I see on a lot of the acts that's out now. But Freddie Jackson, I'm going to mention the 80s, and Babyface can make some argument too if you want to go there. But there's a lot of different, excuse me, R&B acts that were important, what have you. Joe Tex, Teddy Pendergrass. I can go on. But R. Kelly's been like the most important since the 90s, and everybody else has been doing like a nice, what I call shadow boxing of some hits and success. But when you're talking about prolific, productive, doing it, Jay Cleese looks like a broke version of Cisco, you know, like a broke Drew Hill knockoff reject that was an opening act, you know. And he's not even seeing Miguel or The Weeknd, you know. I'm tired of auto tune trap soul, but even Bryson Tiller is more interesting than this cat. The same thing with Leon Bridges. So when you say that, and I'll take Jaheim if he had the right material. So there's a lot of cats that I would put over. Joe, don't forget Joe. You know, there's a lot of acts I would put over, but too many times cats who have a couple hits and a couple moments to get rewarded like they done something, and they ain't. I mean, they just having hits. They having some moment monetary success, but that ain't hardly close. R&B is missing that sentiment, that feeling, that flavor. Not this garbage that's being put out where the music sounds like some broke arcade Pac-Man game generating some. You gotta have feeling and sentiment. You want some Curtis Mayfield. You want some sentiment in your records. You want something that you can, you know, reflect on. Some, Donny Hathaway. You want some soul, and it can still happen. You're not just lazy trap beat auto toning. You know, get your voice box like Roger Troutman, bring back some sentiment if you're gonna go that route, a real thing. But it's watered down, so it's been that way for a long time. But they took it to a whole nother level, watering it down. They went way past what T Pain did. T Pain had some hits, so did Akon, and they went even worse than that. So if you thought it couldn't, that's why the reason why you get cheap third, fourth tier knockoffs who sticking their chest out like they Popeye and got a new can of spinach to pop off. They not putting it down. They not putting it down. Ain't no David Ruffin, no Kendrick, no Dennis Evans. Ain't nobody putting it down. You know, there's too many people who paved the way to be insulted with this garbage. And this cat, he sounds a success and he had a little BT moment and what have you, but this turkey's lighting the cakes musically. That's a fact. It ain't happening. So anyway, that's my take on Jacquees talking about he's the king R&B. I think it was hilarious. And, you know, like I said, running and bloating, the runs and the bloats, that's more like his king of R&B because this generation don't have nobody that stands out, and no one has replaced R. Kelly. So don't get it twisted. That's my take for free. Leave them comments. Hit that subscribe. I'm out. Peace.